In Florida, 7 people are facing charges in the murder of couple Melanie and Bird Billings, and there could be another arrest shortly. CBS News correspondent Terrell Brown joins us this morning with the latest from Pensacola. Good morning, Terrell.
Maggie, good morning to you. And you know, the big question for days now has been why? How did this happen? And we've confirmed, at least this morning, that the primary motive in this case was robbery. Several arrests still have to be made this morning, still waiting to bring one person to justice.
We're about that close.
Police know his name and where he lives. They say it's only a matter of time before moving in on the last suspect in the brutal killing. Yesterday, this man stood in a Pensacola courtroom. 35-year-old Leonard Gonzalez Jr., the alleged mastermind of the attack. He's won awards for community service, is passionate about teaching karate to young children, served in the National Guard, and claims he's innocent.
From the very beginning, the investigators and sheriff have focused their sights entirely on me, even pushing me into the media before evidence was even gathered.
Gonzalez Jr. is one of 7 men ranging in age from 16 to 56 now in police custody charged in the murders. Police say some of the suspects knew the Billings from working at their home. They knew each other through jobs in day labor. Some also worked here, including owner Gary Lamont Sumner. Workers in nearby businesses say Sumner was no stranger to financial trouble.
I went over to check to see if anybody had been here, and I happened to notice there's an eviction notice on the door.
The case now shifting to the state attorney's office, who wants all of these suspects indicted on first-degree murder charges. And from here, the case continues to advance. There are still questions again this morning on that final suspect in this case. We're expecting an arrest on that later on today, possibly. Maggie?
CBS's Terrell Brown. Thank you, Terrell. Also joining us from Pensacola this morning is Escambia County Sheriff David Morgan. Sheriff Morgan, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
We know that you were looking for an 8th suspect whose name and address you know. What's been the holdup in arresting him, Sheriff?
Well, we're at the prosecutorial phase of this case, this investigation, and we've been asked by the state attorney's office to coordinate any further steps in this process with them. And so at the request of Bill Edens, our state attorney, he's wanting to review the investigative file and make sure that we effect this last arrest with a little bit of a slower pace. And I would not question the state attorney's reasoning for this. He has a plan. He's required now to prosecute these cases. And so we're actually working at the direction right now of the state attorney, Mr. Bill Edens.
Do you know what that reasoning is? Is it because they're not sure if this person was involved?
Oh, no, ma'am, that's not it at all. I think in our understanding yesterday in an extended staff meeting with the state attorney's office, they're just wanting to ensure that they cover the bases. And no, ma'am, there's not a problem with any of the evidence or the individual that we've identified. It's just our state attorney is exercising good due diligence.
Do you know, have you been able to determine how many people actually did the killings, the shooting?
We know that 7 total entered the compound at the Billings home. We know that 5 of those 7 actually entered the house. And yes, ma'am, we have identified, in fact, who participated, or I should say, was the active shooter in this case, and we've been asked not to release that at this time.
We have reported that the suspects knew each other from day laborer jobs, some of them. Do you believe that they had been plotting this for a long time?
Yes, ma'am, we do believe, because we verified yesterday that this team, this group of people, had been in training at least 30 days, a month, prior to the execution of it at the Billings compound. So they had an association, we know, for at least that long.
We also know that some of the suspects knew the Billings from working inside their home. Do you think there's a lesson here about who we allow to work inside our homes?
And yes, it's a sad one, because we are trusting people. Let's be honest here. Everyone wants to believe that your neighbor or someone that you have a business association with is basically a good and decent person. And so I believe that the Billings family, by their daily actions, especially reaching out to children with special needs, that's a trusting group of people. And so they would invite someone in that was down and out, or a day laborer, if you will, and allow them to work on their compound, because they were a reasonably affluent family. And sadly, they paid the price for allowing the wrong person inside that circle.
Just heartbreaking. Sheriff David Morgan, thank you.